Welcome to Glasgow for the first time in the ERL's history, and you are Puffers on pole from Remy LeBeau and Revo. UK ball is fourth from Jonathan Sims and Tonali Gabro, the man second in the championship by 2 points. Then it's Daniel Bogdasarov, Akari Lopez, Marcus Nelson and Sebastian Ocampo breaching the top 10. Just outside you've got Theo and Rotak from the Red Devil and Devin Butler, with Francis Austin starting in 15th. Charles Hernandez down in 16th for the Dragon Nissan team. Then it's Kynes, Chakluck and Ericsson from Oscar Falstad, Awful Catfish and Elliot Delly. We've got good weather here in the Scottish Lowlands for one of the few times that you'll ever see it. You are Puffers on pole as all 5 lights have gone on. And we go green for the first ever Glasgow E3. And it's a brilliant start there from the front row men. Revo didn't get the best start off the line as we're on board with the 27 going through the hills in the lowlands. And there he goes into the lead for the Sims Motorsport number 27. You are Puff fighting back though, and he retains that position up front just for now. Meanwhile, former teammates Revo and UK Ball squabbling over third, and the British driver has just about managed to take that position. Bogdasarov flies up into fifth in front of Jonathan Sims. And that Renault Edam's car, as we go on board with the 97, finally coming good for that team. Gabbo dropped down to 7th outside of the top 6 for the man fighting for the championship. He's 2 points down on Puff heading into this race. Remy LeBeau trying to close up to the back of him. Ocampo's moved up into 9th. Marcus Nelson is now 10th, driving for the Andretti team as his teammates drop to the very back of the pack on the hard tyres. But out in front, Remy LeBeau is going to have to try something else to try and take the lead. And another lunge into turn number 1 for car 27. Going down the hill side by side and through up into the lead, but he's going to have to defend it immediately. And he's done it. Remy LeBeau now holds the race lead here in Scotland. Puff quite a ways behind him now. On board we go with the English number 89. UK Ball trying to get past Puff in front and try and ruin his home race, going off the track for the 89, but he's just about held it. Meanwhile, Jonathan Sims trying to dart around the outside of Daniel Bogdasarov, gets passed by Akari in the making of that move. Absolutely has failed for him as Revo now looks for a move on Puff after getting past UK Ball. Attack mode is online, but there really is only one real opportunity to use it, and that is the run down into turn number 1. And we do mean run down into it. Gabbo's moved up into 5th and now has the fastest lap. Let's look at that. It really is an attack mode drain. Here comes the 7 using attack charge on exit. Trying to go side by side coming out of those turns, but he can't quite manage to do it. Gabbo is starting around for a move in 4th to try and limit the damage that finishing behind Puff would do to his championship hopes. I think UK Ball's trying to go for a move, but he just can't. Gabbo, as his soft tyres beginning to grain up more, forced off the track. Track limits warning for the 89. As you can see, the 29 trying to get close to the back of the Power Motorsports car in front of him. And I think he might have found an opportunity. We're receiving rumours that Nissan might run a special livery for the London E-Prix, if not for the Abuja E-Prix, as Bogdasarov and Gabbo going side by side over 5th position. They're going to maintain that side-by-side action, and the Italian does relinquish the position. Puff has reclaimed the race lead, but for how much longer? Carlos Kynes is the first man into the pits, straps on hard tyres, should last him quite a good way through this race. Michelin have brought in a new compound for this race here in the Scottish Lowlands, and honestly, I'm just glad that we haven't seen any rain today. It was raining the entire week before this race, so to see clear skies, relatively clear skies, as the nation's champion leads the pack is just kind of poetic. Sebastian Ocampo in that number 76 car, currently running a 9th, hasn't had the best season 25 with his new team at DS Hyperdrive. And Akari's going past Gabo side by side, attack mode wide open, and many drivers diving into pit lane, including Tenali Gabo. So Revo now right behind the race leader in Remy LeBeau. They go side by side, almost into turn number 1. The 7 is looking for an opportunity. Has that opportunity gone by for Revo? And I think it has. I don't think he's going to be able to get past too soon. He's got former teammate Marcus Nelson running in third, 4 seconds back. And if you're wondering where all the drivers have come out, roughly how they were running in terms of after pitting, roughly where they were running, because there was no pit stops that were called. But Linus Eriksson struggling out there, the rookie driver of the 28. Revo in the 7 there, riding on board of the DS Hyperdrive. He's trying to get a good look at Remy LeBeau, but I think the front 2 men could come into the pits at the end of this lap. In comes Remy LeBeau, staying out is Revo. He's trying to extend this first stint on the medium tyres. He could go for the one stop if he goes onto the hard tyres. Not too sure if that's going to be optimal though. Many drivers coming into the pits here. Path is now heading down the main straight and will effectively overtake most of them. Remy LeBeau crosses the pit lane exit line, but is behind the Scotsman and the Englishman. Cable is gained from this pit stop phase. He's in front of Remy LeBeau by roughly 2 seconds. He's going to try everything that he can do to increase that lead over the Sims Motorsport man. And also Verse Theo currently running in second without stopping. The top 7 are yet to make their first pit stops. But still, for Verse Theo, this is a very good position to be in, especially if a full course caution does come out. For Revo right now, he is doing what he can for his strategy. He could do one more lap, but he would lose a lot of time, more than he's already lost. He's into the pits and soft tyres go on. Hyperdriver going for the 2-stop. Will that be a race-winning strategy today? We will find out once the checkered flag comes out, and it's a slow release for Revo. Linus Eriksson leads the pack, and is the only man out there yet to stop. He's only 5 seconds in front of Path. Andretti are hoping that not only will these soft tyres not hold up as well as they would have before, but more than that, just a full course caution to come out. This street track that we've got here in Glasgow though, in quite possibly the only hilly part in Glasgow, there's not too many places for cars to be pinned right up to the wall. 1.7 seconds is the gap between Linus and Path. These two back in IndyCar. Path got the first win out of these two in IndyCar, but didn't stay long enough to become an IndyCar champion like Linus. Instead of that, Path went on to take the Formula E championship instead, and is now 3/10 off the back of the Swedish driver, who stays out to start lap 8. He's doing the one-stop strategy. Path now leads his home ePrix in Glasgow. And the 28 of Linus Eriksson doesn't seem to have a very good answer to him. Revo started this race quite highly, didn't he? He was in the top 3 for most of it. He's now running down in 9th and behind his teammate on strategy. Revo getting past Tenali Gabo there. He's got the fastest tyres in the top 10 though, so expect him to make a lot of moves like he is right now. He's up into 7th as his teammate Sebastian Ocampo getting past his first teammate Daniel Bogdasarov, and he will take 5th position for now. But there goes the 97 back past the Philippine driver, who gets forced to the wall. Doesn't touch it, thankfully. But that was close, wasn't it? Linus Eriksson having to defend from 2 Superbirds there in Cable and Remy LeBeau, and I don't think he's going to want to fight these guys for too long, because he doesn't really have to. I don't know if Andretti thinks that they are part of his race. In comes Linus Eriksson after a monster stint on those hard tyres. We could see a lot of other drivers running a similar stint, but Remy LeBeau now getting past Cable as he is chasing after the victory today. Revo in that number 7 car. He's moved up into 4th. He's in front of his teammate Sebastian Ocampo, and currently Hyperdrive's pulled a blinder on the strategy front. Do we expect a lot of these guys to do a second stop? Probably. Will we actually see that today for the race winner? You never know. I don't want to say anything to almost set it in stone, but I do feel like this race is going to be a 2-stop, because even Revo is struggling with his softs. Remy LeBeau struggling a lot more. Those hard tyres are at 63% from Marcus Nelson and 53% for Sims. They are graining up a lot faster than we would have expected. Ericsson, Austin and Kynes all into the pits after that lap, and for Austin and Kynes, that was their second stops of this race. And Puff is into the pits with UK Ball, and I believe Revo's in before his teammate. 4 laps to go, and Hyperdrive have pulled in the 7 before the 76. Mediums have gone on for Revo though. Another set of softs for UK Ball. All of the guys who are going on to their second, who have had their second stops, they are going to the end of this race. But Linus Eriksson is now all over the back of UK Ball, and after getting those tyres up to temperature, takes 16th position away from the British driver. He could be on for a showstopper of a result. Could be his first ever Formula E podium if the 14 drivers in front of Puff all come into the pits. Ocampo's at a track limits warning, defending from Bogdasarov, Nelson, Akari, the Red Devil. So many drivers he's working hard to defend from. As here we are with car number 13, as he follows Bogdasarov past Ocampo, as we've got our first time penalty of the race. Jonathan Sims, 5 seconds for causing a collision. In comes Akari. Bogdasarov now leads, and we are watching with intent with Remy LeBeau. Where is Puff? He's heading down the main straight, and he will go past the Frenchman. But UK Ball and Ericsson, they are both in front. Ericsson might be running a net P3 here. Revo is all over the back of Remy LeBeau now after coming out of the pits. I think the 7 can just about scrape a P4 today. P3 might not be too possible anymore. Leclerc has been passed by Puff, who is absolutely driving through the field. But the 7 still very close to the 27. Marcus Nelson now trying to get past Daniel Bogdasarov. I'm not too sure if that opportunity for a pass will form too quickly. Looks for a pass and does. Marcus Nelson to the race lead in Glasgow. Here comes the 38 of Versteo through the final turn. Keeping my eyes on the timing tower. The gap between 11th and 12th is half a second. We could see a move there, as in comes Bogdasarov and Versteo. Marcus Nelson could theoretically stay out and finish this race, as Sims and Butler both come in. Puff moves up into second in front of Power Motorsports, UK Ball, and Linus Eriksson. Then it's Remy LeBeau and Revo's the one with attack mode heading into turn 1. Doesn't make the lunge though. Very interesting to show some restraint from the DS Hyperdrive driver, who's taken 4 Formula E championships. And he's actually losing quite a bit of time through the end of the opening sector. 3 sector 2 they now come. And I think he might want to try and get some time here. Remy LeBeau is now actually a lot closer to the back of Linus Eriksson. He could still go for 3rd. Could Remy. And if he can do that, I think Revo can certainly go for 3rd as well. Marcus Nelson, however, with only 2 more laps left to run here, is leading the pack, and he's 2 seconds in front, and he stays out to start the penultimate lap. Marcus Nelson is going for broke here in Glasgow. Meanwhile, with attack mode, Remy LeBeau passes Linus Eriksson, who's definitely beginning to struggle with his medium. Same could be said for Revo. And for Marcus Nelson, he's only 1 second in front of Scotland's favourite. Puff is now within striking distance. This is currently how we think things are going to play out. Elliot Daly has come from the back of the pack to currently being in 9th position with some very worn, hard tyres. And those two are the only guys who have started this race who are going to finish this race on the hards. Delhi has dropped down to 10th, and the gap between the top two is 0.2 of a second. We might not get a final lap pass here because Puff has found a potential move opportunity side by side with the 13, and Puff leads his home E3. Marcus Nelson, we believe, will get attack mode, but didn't get the best exit. He's got attack mode. UK Ball is also coming after him. The top 5 separated by 2.4 seconds. We go on to the final lap. Marcus Nelson goes for the pass into turn number 1 and will retake the lead in front of Puff. UK Ball is going for the move. The Englishman trying to win in Glasgow too, but the Scotsman in car number 9 reclaims the race lead after starting from pole. UK Ball moves up into second. Remy LeBeau is going for third to try and deny Andretti of that well-needed podium finish and some silverware, which they've been sorely missing ever since Ocampo's left. The gap between the top two is 0.2 of a second. Akari Lopez further back with a track limits warning. Catfish with the fastest first sector in 21st position, as Remy LeBeau and Marcus Nelson are dueling over third position. Remy's just taken it, coming through the final turn. To the line they go. Attack mode for UK Ball. Both of these drivers struggling with their tyres. Who's gonna do it? And by half a tenth of a second, Puff wins his home E-Prix with the new closest finish in the ERL's history. Can you believe it? And we've got something close to here, with a very close finish between 21st and 22nd being decided by only 33 hundredths of a second. The race win here in Scotland decided by just 5 hundredths of a second. Puff has taken victory from UK Ball and Remy LeBeau. A barn burner of a finish, and for UK Ball, so close yet oh so far. Revo did manage to finish in 4th today from the two Andretti drivers who pulled off a masterclass with a strategy, but it could have been a lot more. 5th and 6th for Nelson and Ericsson. Tenali Gabo and countryman Francis Ericsson finished in 7th and 8th from Bogdasarov and Falstad. Then it was the Red Devil, Charles Hernandez, Akari Lopez, Devin Butler, Theo Ocampo and Elliot Delhi, who lost, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, 7 positions over the course of that final lap. Skadalin Rossack was 8th from Jonathan Sims and Lawless Leclerc, and the back two separated by mere inches at the end of the race, Catfish and Salos Kynes. That race win at home has extended Puff's championship lead by quite a bit over Gabo, Remy LeBeau and Revo. Then it's Sims, the Red Devil, UK Ball and Bogdasarov, the top 8 from Falstad and Ericsson, the top 10 making it into the chase for the cup currently. However, Salos Kynes tied on points with Linus, so it's still definitely all to play for. Marcus Nelson, after that top 10 finish, moves up into 12th in front of Ocampo and Leclerc. Then it's Delhi, Austin, Lopez, Butler, Rossack, Hernandez, Catfish and Theo, who is still yet to score. In the constructors' standings heading into the next round of the championship, Panasonic Jaguar lead the pack from Red Bull, Sims Porsche and DS Hyperdrive. Then it's Dragon Nissan, Team Edams Renault, MS Amlin Andretti from McLaren TGR and Power Motorsport. Then it's Pinnacle Motorsport, Mercedes EQ and Mahindra Racing. Panasonic Jaguar, everybody, still leading the championship, and with Puff winning the first race in Scotland for the ERL by half a tenth of a second. I will keep saying that for a while. That was an amazing finish, and we're sure to get a lot more when the ERL returns for the Surfers Paradise Grand Prix in the ERL IndyCar Series. So thank you so much for watching here on Spark Plug Motorsports, and we will see you guys next time then when the ERL returns.